I'm in my late 20s, and at the time all of this happened, I was living in a small city in the Midwest. Nothing special. I worked a regular warehouse job, mostly evening shifts, which meant I was usually driving home pretty late. Stopping at gas stations at night was just part of my routine. I never thought twice about it. The first incident happened on a Tuesday around 1:30 in the morning. I pulled into a gas station just off the highway. One of those places that's brightly lit but still feels empty. There was one other car at the pumps and a guy inside paying. I remember feeling relieved it wasn't completely deserted. While I was filling my tank, I noticed a pickup truck parked along the side of the building, engine off, lights off. I didn't see anyone inside. That alone wasn't strange. But what caught my attention was that when I finished pumping and walked toward the door to grab a drink, the truck door slowly opened. I stopped for a second, waiting to see someone step out. Nobody did. The door just stayed open. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe the driver dropped something. I went inside, grabbed a bottle of water, paid, and left. As I pulled out, I glanced back. The truck door was closed again. The truck was still there. I didn't see anyone. About a mile down the road, headlights appeared behind me, high beams. They stayed right on my bumper. I sped up slightly. So did they. When I slowed down, they stayed with me. After a few minutes, the headlights turned off completely, but the car was still following me in the dark. I took a random turn into a residential area I didn't recognize. The car followed. My heart was pounding at that point. I pulled into the first driveway I saw and turned my car off. The headlights behind me stopped at the end of the driveway. After about 10 seconds, they turned around and disappeared. I sat there shaking for a long time before driving home. I convinced myself it was coincidence. I didn't want to believe otherwise. The second time was a few months later, at a different gas station, closer to my apartment. It was just after midnight. I went inside to use the restroom. The cashier, an older man, buzzed me in with this tired look on his face. The restroom was in the back hallway. As I was washing my hands, I heard footsteps outside the door. They stopped right in front of it. I waited, expecting the handle to turn. It didn't. Instead, I heard someone breathing. Not heavy breathing, controlled, slow, like they were deliberately trying not to make noise. I stayed completely still. After maybe 20 seconds, the footsteps backed away. When I opened the door, the hallway was empty. I walked up to the counter and asked the cashier if anyone else had gone back there. He looked confused and said I was the only one who'd asked to use the restroom in the last hour. I left without another word. As I walked to my car, I felt that same sensation I'd had before, like I was being watched. I didn't turn around until I was inside and the doors were locked. There was no one behind me. But when I checked my back seat before pulling away, the seatbelt on the passenger side was extended, hanging loose. I know for a fact it hadn't been like that when I got out of the car. The worst one happened last year. I was driving home from visiting a friend in another town, late at night again, low on gas. The only station around was an older one, run down with flickering lights, and a closed convenience store. There was a single pump still operational and a sign saying to pay inside through the night window. I didn't want to stop there, but I didn't have a choice. I pulled up and noticed a man standing near the dumpsters on the side of the building. He was facing away from me, completely still. I couldn't see his face. He didn't react when I pulled in. I went to the window to pay. The clerk slid it open just enough to take my card. While he was processing it, I casually asked if the guy outside was with him. The clerk's face changed instantly. He leaned closer to the glass and told me very quietly to finish pumping as fast as I could and leave. I asked why. He didn't answer. He just locked eyes with me until I nodded. As I walked back to my car, the man by the dumpsters slowly turned his head toward me. Not his body, just his head. He smiled, but it wasn't friendly. It felt rehearsed, like he knew exactly what expression to make. While I was pumping gas, I heard footsteps circling my car. I kept my eyes forward, pretending not to notice. The footsteps stopped right behind me. I felt a presence close enough that I could smell him. Something sour and metallic. He whispered my name. I froze. I had never seen this man before in my life. I dropped the pump, jumped into my car, and locked the doors. As I pulled away, I saw him sprint toward me in the side mirror, slamming his hands against the trunk as I accelerated. I didn't stop driving for almost an hour. I called the gas station the next day, trying to convince myself there was an explanation. The number was disconnected. Since then, I plan my routes obsessively. I never stop for gas at night unless I absolutely have to, and sometimes when I'm driving past a station after dark, I see someone standing just outside the light watching the cars pull in. I don't know if it's the same person. I don't stop to find out.